Welcome to the Oshkosh Area School District Board of Education regular meeting for Wednesday, January 29th, 2020. Has this meeting been properly noticed?
Yes, it has.
Would you please call the roll?
Harlan.
Here.
Evans.
Here.
Garner.
Here.
Herzog.
Here.
Olmsted. Peschel.
Here.
Szilagyi.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you very much. We have a representative from Oshkosh West High School joining us tonight to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Sophie Steinmetz.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sophie, it's a pleasure having you at our meeting this evening. We put children first, students first, and so it's always good for us to have a student representative here to remind us of why we're here. So thank you for joining us tonight. You're welcome to stay for the meeting. And if you have homework or other things, we certainly understand. So thank you again.
Thank you, Sophie.
Okay, next on the agenda are board and administrative reports, starting with the board president report. It's been a busy time in the school district, and I just want to call out a number of activities that have been going on recently in the district. Oshkosh West High School recently had its annual Athletic Wall of Fame Award, in which 6 former student athletes were recognized: Trey Demler, Patty Hoppy-Stinsky, Tim Jarmuse, Randy Marsh, Jay Schmick, and Lene Utecht. It's a real tribute to a school district to be able to not only celebrate students while they're with us, but after they've left us, and to learn of their accomplishments in their respective communities is very, very exciting and very rewarding for a district. Second, I want to call out the Oshkosh Education Foundation Trivia Contest. That was held last week Friday at the Convention Center. There were over 30 teams. A good time seemed to be had by all. And more importantly, or just as importantly, some money was raised for the Oshkosh Education Foundation to allow us to do some exciting and innovative things in our classrooms with our teachers, with our students. I'd also like to call out Janelle Galicia, who is an Oshkosh North teacher, or West teacher, I believe, I'm sorry. She was one of the stars in Oshkosh on Broadway and did a wonderful job of representing our school district. There were Oshkosh for Education meetings on January 15th, which we actually heard about at our special meeting on the night of the 15th. And then on January 28th, last night, we had the report to the community. Good turnout, and again, an opportunity to celebrate many good things. There was a TIF district meeting on January 20th where I represented the board and the school district. That involved the old elementary school at St. Mary's Church on Merritt Avenue, also known as part of Most Blessed Sacrament Parish. The concept there is that the church would be selling the school to some entrepreneurs who will turn that into apartments and to parking in that area. Last week, several of us had the opportunity to learn and to experience networking at the state level with the Wisconsin Association of School Boards, the Wisconsin Association of School District Administrators, and the Wisconsin Association of Business Officials State Convention held in Madison. So I'd like to commend my fellow board members, Steph Carlin and Jim Evans, for being able to attend and represent the school district, as well as district staff members, Dr. Cartwright, Dr. Gundlach, Mrs. Schnorr, Mr. Ho, and Mr. Fox. I believe that Mr. Ho and Mrs. Schnorr, among others, had presentations that were well attended and well received. And it's really, again, exciting to see the success and the voice of our staff members being heard throughout the state. One other exciting component of that state convention was an art display by students. There were about 85 pieces displayed on vertical stanchions. And of those 85 pieces, 4 were from the Oshkosh Area School District. And again, seeing people from throughout the state of Wisconsin viewing the artwork of our students was very exciting for them as well as for us. Two of our district students actually received 4th and 5th place among those displayed. So it was wonderful to see that going on. So again, I just continue to be so impressed by the successes of our students and our staff, not only in our own community, but on a statewide level. So I thank all of you who were part of those ventures. I know there were many other things that took place. After all, this is Event City. But those were just some of the ones that I was aware of or took part in. And I am remiss because I neglected to give my kudos to Oshkosh West High School Music Department for their outstanding performances over this past weekend of the musical Sister Act that took place at the Alberta Kimball Auditorium. So a lot of time, energy, and effort went into that production, and students, I'm sure, are most grateful to their family and friends for supporting them, and they're probably equally happy at this point that it's behind them and they can resume their other activities. So with that, let's go on to the superintendent's report.
Thank you very much. So for tonight, we're going to get started right away with South Park Middle School. As a part of the social studies lesson, 6th graders recently took a virtual field trip to South America. They learned about Carnival, viewed pyramids, explored the Amazon rainforest, and so much more. Our 7th graders at South Park recently spent the lunch hour learning about technical trades management. The Downtown Rotary is partnering with South Park Middle to have a guest speaker come each month to talk with students about career exploration. The Oshkosh West dance team recently hosted the 6th annual Oshkosh West Wildcat Invite. This year was the largest invite ever hosted, with 55 teams attending and almost 1,000 athletes competing. Additionally, this year, the Wildcats advanced to D1 Palm and D1 Kick, competing at regionals this past weekend. Emmeline Cook Elementary School students had the privilege of leading the national anthem during a recent Wisconsin Herds game. Additionally, students Muka and Savannah did a great job representing the school as honorary co-captains. Shapiro STEM Academy was fortunate to have Lucy, a certified service dog, along with her owner, Mary, to come to the school to support students and encourage reading. In the coming weeks, students will have the opportunity to read one-on-one with both Lucy and Mary. The staff at Washington Elementary School will be participating in Dress Up Theme Days every Friday in the 3rd quarter. The themes are a surprise to students, and they will have the chance to guess what the theme is in order to win prizes. This past Friday, the staff brought sunshine into classrooms with their beach vacation theme. Reed Elementary School families were able to learn more about their children's growth at a school-to-home night. Families also learned activities that they can do together to help promote literacy and math at home. The Perry Tipler Middle and Alps School community recently recognized 2nd quarter awards. Students were recognized for academic and citizenship achievements. Over $10,000 was recently donated to 2 law enforcement-related charities, thanks to the fundraising efforts of one Oshkosh West High School student. The funds were raised through a T-shirt campaign organized by Junior John Wigand and to honor Oshkosh West School Resource Officer Mike Wissing. The fundraiser was made possible through the generosity of Pansky Enterprises, a local screen printing shop that donated the T-shirts. Congratulations and great job, John. Our district is committed to supporting educators and finding unique ways to enhance the classroom experience. In fact, a recent $675,000 grant award from Margaret A. Cargill Philanthropies will be used to support teacher development in and through the arts. When given the opportunity to explore their creative side, students are able to authentically connect with content and become immersed in the learning experience. However, before students can embrace this innovative approach to learning, a culture of creativity must be fostered, and here in Oshkosh, that means focusing first on the educators. We are so excited to see our teachers and students rolling up their sleeves and engaging in project-based, arts-integrated teaching and learning thanks to this expanded partnership and grant. As superintendent, I remain committed to being present and engaged in our schools and throughout the Oshkosh community. On the screen, you'll see just a few examples of where I've been spending my time, and of course including a few days over in Milwaukee during the state convention as well. So looking forward to continuing to partner with our community partnerships. We have some presentations that'll be occurring tomorrow as well with the Chamber of Commerce. And just very glad to have the opportunity to partner with our community partners and to be present in our schools and with our teachers and our students on a daily basis.
Thank you, Dr. Cartwright. And next on the agenda would be District Administrator Supplemental Reports. Do we have any of those this evening?
We do not have a supplemental report. However, I will ask for Dr. Gunlock to come up in order to talk about the listening session from January the 8th.
Very good, thank you.
Good evening. We only had one community member come to listening session on January 8th. They expressed a concern from several years ago about school safety and made a suggestion, given all the focus on safety and referendum topics, was potentially putting video cameras in every classroom. They'd also like to see parents with students when being interviewed about certain situations, which is something that we do naturally anyways. So that was it from listening session.
Thank you, Dr. Gunlock.
You're welcome.
Moving on, are there any board committee reports this evening? Mrs. Garland?
I have Facilities and Finance. We met on January 16th, and we covered 3 topics. The first was the custodial contracted services. We currently use Building Services Group, and when we outsource that, we save a lot of money. However, the service has not been satisfactory, and so we're going to bid out this spring. There are not a lot of services out there that we can bid to, so it's basically between 2, but we're still going to go out to bid. We are currently saving $155,000 to $350,000 a year, and we did talk about if we go down the path of consolidation, that maybe we retain our district people and we just eliminate the outsourcing altogether. The second topic was the Smith School proceeds. We have about $340,000 of net proceeds from the sale of Smith. There were some closing costs as well as the street assessment, as we remember. Originally, it was in the maintenance budget, and it would be possible to allocate the entire $400,000 to something, and so we decided that Fund 46 made the most sense. That's the fund that we use for capital projects. There was some discussion about how to hold the board accountable to ensure that that money is used for playgrounds, because that is what this board, current board, has promised. And if we're not around when that money finally gets allocated towards playgrounds, we want to make sure that we can uphold that promise to the community. So there was a discussion about creating a living document to pass on to future boards. We're going to do some research into that, and then Jim's going to look at some playground costs for us, and we're going to bring it back to the board. And then the last topic was the West High School tennis courts are in really, really bad shape. And so Brad Jadarski came, and Jim and Brad gave us basically 3 options. One is to do another crack repair, which is not a long-term, it's a short-term fix, and it's a substantial amount of money. The second is to spend like 3 times that amount of money to do a surface overlay, or we can do a complete reconstruction, which is like twice the other one. So nothing really gets over $1 million. We're talking maybe $600,000, $700,000 to do a complete reconstruction. Given the condition of the courts, any patch and repair would be limited to under 5 years. So why would we spend that money now if we're just going to have to redo it in the future? And that's about $125,000 to $300,000. there's a long history of tennis program success in this community, and having workable tennis courts makes a lot of sense. We did talk a lot about the tennis courts that are no longer in service in our community and how many we've actually lost. Even the university's courts are in disrepair now, so we really don't have many options. It was recommended to form a committee to develop a 5 to 10 year plan that would include all extracurriculars, because these onesie-twosies keep coming through, and as board members, we are not sure what the priorities are. So we're asking Jim and Brad and Craig could you guys come up with a plan so that we can prioritize? So they agreed to that, and Brad thought that we could delay this one more year so that they have time to make a plan, and then we can make a more informed decision. All right, let's see. The next meeting is scheduled for February 20th.
Thank you, Mrs.
Can I
Gardner.
ask a clarifying question?
Yes.
Thank you. So is that needs list, that's just for the whole district's facilities, or is that just for tennis courts?
Just for extracurriculars.
Just for
So
extracurriculars?
tracks,
Okay, got
baseball
it.
diamonds, gymnastics,
All right.
swimming, everything.
Thank you.
Yep.
For clarification, I believe it also included, made sure that we included the arts on that, I believe as well, in that request.
I don't remember that. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
I
Mrs.
also have
Salati.
one. Yes, so I am going to give the Policy and Governance Committee meeting minutes. There were 16 items, 14 of which we are voting on tonight, so you've seen them in your packet, but I'll give a quick summary. The first one is, and they were all Neola policy updates, so the first one is 0168.1, it's meeting minutes. The title of this policy was changed to meeting minutes to better describe the contents of the policy and the options for distribution of meeting proceedings, and options for meeting minutes contents have been clarified. The next one was 2260. It's non-discrimination and access to equal educational opportunity. So this policy has been revised in response to an audit of a Neola client by the U.S. Department of Education. So the district will consult, the change was that the district will consult with their legal counsel on a case-by-case basis to determine if complaint decisions will be communicated to the respondent or target of the complaint. 2260.01 is Section 504 ADA prohibition against discrimination based on disability. So this policy was revised to incorporate the same language as the policy above that I just shared, 2260. I believe there's also a 2260.02, which was the English language proficiency. Man. This policy incorporated language regarding to the delivery of Yale services that was removed from policy 2411. So those are all kind of under the same umbrella. 2411 was school counseling and academic and career planning. This policy is revised to remove reference to English learners, as those provisions are covered already in policy 2260.02, which is the one I just said. 5340 is student accidents, illnesses, and concussions. This policy is revised to be consistent with the law regarding concussion paperwork and training. 7434 was use of tobacco, nicotine, and related products on school premises. This policy was revised to be specific that the district prohibits the use of tobacco products at both outdoor and indoor facilities. I thought there was one more under that umbrella too. No, that was it, sorry. All right, so the next one, 2340 is district travel. The policy is revised to better distinguish between school-sponsored field trips, which are part of a curriculum, and extracurricular and co-curricular trips like band overnight trips, band trips, overnight trips, other trips that, while arranged and coordinated by the district, are not directly part of the course or a school district club or group. Policy 2451 is the program or curriculum modifications. This is a new policy, and it reflects the more detailed requirements of state law and references another policy dealing with programming for students identified as being at risk of not graduating from high school. OASD policy 2211 actually predates this Neola policy, referring to the same statutes, so we were on top of that one. 5460 is graduation requirements. The revisions were made to provide more accurate representation and the option to include more detailed information about graduation requirements and alternative diploma requirements. A provision was added to provide notice that participation in graduation ceremonies is a right and a student and student conduct issues may result in the loss of that right. We had a pretty good discussion about that. 8210 is the school calendar. Language was added to include a virtual instruction option to supplement school hours, as well as the requirements for that option and a legal reference to PL 808.01. 5111 is the eligibility of resident and non-resident students. So policy revisions were made to assure state law requirements and communication about tuition payment situations and conditional enrollment were clear. Examples of this would be like if a student's been expelled from another district and they are permitted to attend a new district under a set of conditions. 5710 is student complaints. This policy now includes references to other specific policies containing complaint procedures and additional general language for instances not covered by the specific policies. 5113, open enrollment program. This policy was revised to reflect DPI's final regulations regarding alternative procedures. I'm almost done, 2 left. 7540.01 is technology privacy. So 2 versions of this policy have been merged into a single version for ease of decision making as it relates to technology privacy and how technology can be used. And the last one is 8330, student records. This policy was revised to include terms used in Wisconsin law, such as adult student, and federal law, which is eligible student, and now includes references to the adult student's right to restrict parental access to his or her records by providing written notice to the district. Our next meeting is February 10th at 8:30.
Thank you, Mrs.
Thank you.
Solangi. Obviously, the Policy and Governance Committee had a lot to talk about at that meeting, a lot to consider. Thank you. Are there any other committee reports?
Just for information, only the legislative committee did meet yesterday, but being that it was just yesterday, the notes are still being compiled, so we'll report on that next month.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. Are there any other committee reports? All right, seeing none, we'll move on with the rest of our agenda. I don't believe anyone signed up for the non-agenda related public forum, nor the agenda related public forum. So we will move on to the consent resolution agenda. For the consent agenda, the board has been furnished with background material on each item or has discussed it at a previous meeting. These will be acted upon with one vote without discussion. If a board member wants to discuss any item, it will be pulled out of the consent agenda and will be voted on separately. Are there any items that anyone wishes to pull this evening? All right, I would choose to pull item 7B. So, the board will consider approval of 1, minutes of December 18th, 2018 regular board meeting. 2, minutes of December 18th, 2019 executive session of regular board meeting. 3, minutes of January 8th, 2020 regular board meeting. 4, minutes of January 8th, 2020 executive session of regular board meeting. 5, minutes of January 16th, 2020 special board meeting minutes. Number 6, bills payable. Number 7, personnel. A, appointments, temporary appointments, resignations, and salaries. C, administrator contract renewals. 8, 2020 summer school program plan. 9, 2020 to 2021 school calendar. 10, 2020 to 2021 open enrollment space availability. Number 11, Neola policy updates. A, 0168.1 meeting minutes. B, 2260, non-discrimination and access to equal educational opportunity. C, 2260.01, Section 504, ADA, prohibition against discrimination based on disability. D, 2260.02, English language proficiency. E, 2411, school counseling and academic and career planning. F, 2451, program or curriculum modifications, new. G, 5111, eligibility of resident, non-resident students. H, 5340, student accidents, illness, concussion. I, 5460, graduation requirements. J, 5710, student complaints. K, 7434, use of tobacco, nicotine, and related products on school premises. L, 7540.01, technology privacy. M, 8210, school calendar. and N 8330 student records.
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Garner.
Aye.
Garner, I. Herzog.
Aye.
Herzog, I. Olmsted. Peschel.
Aye.
Peschel, I. Szilagyi.
Aye.
Szilagyi, I. Carlin.
Aye.
Carlin, I. Evans.
Aye.
Evans, I. Motion carried.
Thank you. Okay, we will go back to Resolution 7B. Be it resolved that the Oshkosh Area School District Board of Education approve the retirements as filed with the Secretary to the Board of Education.
So moved.
Second.
Once again, I'd ask that this be pulled because I think it's important that we recognize the contributions of those who are choosing to go on to a new age and stage of life called retirement. And we have two individuals who have made a significant contribution to us from an administrative standpoint. Every retiree makes a significant contribution, but these two individuals have done so entirely at the administrative level. Sue Schnorr is going to be retiring as Executive Director of Business Services in early July after approximately 7 years of service. Al Wenig has served as Recreation Department Director for a number of years. Prior to that, he had been the Assistant Director, and he has served the district since 1981. Both of these individuals will be greatly missed, and we wish them all the best for a long, healthy, and happy retirement. So thank you. Any other comments on these retirements? We do require a majority vote to. Just want to remind the board of that.
I just want to say that the budgets for schools are very confusing. And I said there's probably about 3 people in the whole state that actually understand what's going on, and we were lucky enough to have the one here that knew it. So I was greatly appreciative of that.
Very good. Anyone else? Please call the roll.
Herzog.
Yes, aye.
Herzog, I. Olmsted. Peschel.
Aye.
Peschel, I. Szilagyi.
Aye.
Szilagyi, I. Carlin.
Aye.
Carlin, I. Evans.
Aye.
Evans, I. Garner.
Aye.
Garner, I. Motion carried.
Thank you. Next, are there any individually considered resolutions tonight? Seeing none, are there any requests for future agenda items? Seeing none, are there any announcements tonight? Seeing none, we will be adjourning to executive session. For 1, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session under Wisconsin Statute 19.85, parend 1, parend E, A, purchase of property. 2, considering the disciplinary data of specific persons under Wisconsin Statute 19.85, parend 1, parend F. A, review expulsion recommendation from an expulsion hearing officer for a high school student who engaged in conduct constituting repeated refusal or neglect to obey the rules under Wisconsin Statute 120.13, parend 1, parend C, parend E. B, review expulsion recommendation from an expulsion hearing officer for a high school student who engaged in conduct while at school or while under the supervision of a school authority which endangered the property, health, or safety of others, endangered the property, health, or safety of any employee or school board member of the school district in which the pupil is enrolled, and engaged in conduct constituting repeated refusal or neglect to obey the rules under Wisconsin Statute 120.13, parend 1, parend C, parend E. C, review expulsion recommendation from an expulsion hearing officer for a high school student who, while not at school or while not under the supervision of a school authority, engaged in conduct which endangered the property, health, or safety of others at school or under the supervision of a school authority, and engaged in conduct constituting repeated refusal or neglect to obey the rules under Wisconsin Statute 120.13, parend 1, parend C, parend E. D, review expulsion recommendation from an expulsion hearing officer for a high school student who engaged in conduct constituting repeated refusal or neglect to obey the rules under Wisconsin Statute 120.13, parend 1, parend E. E, review expulsion recommendation from an expulsion hearing officer for a high school student who engaged in conduct while at school or while under the supervision of a school authority which endangered the property, health, or safety of others, and engaged in conduct constituting repeated refusal or neglect to obey the rules under Wisconsin Statute 120.13, paren 1, paren C, paren E. F, review expulsion recommendation from an expulsion hearing officer for a high school student who engaged in conduct while at school while under the supervision of a school authority which endangered the property, health, or safety of others, and engaged in conduct constituting repeated refusal or neglect to obey the rules under Wisconsin Statute 120.13, paren 1, paren C, paren E.
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Olmstead? Peschel?
Aye.
Peschel, aye. Solaji?
Aye.
Solaji, aye. Carlin?
Aye.
Carlin, aye. Evans?
Aye.
Evans, aye. Garner?
Aye.
Garner, aye. Herzog?
Aye.
Herzog, aye. Motion carried.
Okay, then I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
And we just did that,
You
didn't
did.
we? That
Did it again.
encompassed the whole thing. I got carried away with reading all of those, sorry. Okay, with that, we are adjourned.